Hey, hey, hey. Hey, okay. Out to the pay, for the grass is always green. I don't do no labels, I call it how I see it. Okay, out to the pay, for the grass is always green. I don't do no labels, I call it how I see it.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of No Label the Podcast. Here, my boy Nell.
Yo.
Special shout outs to everybody that's been subscribing on YouTube as normal, liking on Instagram, following, sharing, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, all that. Appreciate it as normal. Now, go ahead and get into the sponsor.
Man, shout out to our sponsor. Shout out to Guap Coin.
Guap Coin.
Cryptocurrency for the culture. You know what I'm saying? That black-owned blockchain, that's the way you need to be. We sit down with artists all the time, and we seeing how the numbers look. That crypto balance the playing field, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Blockchain, what do they call it? Digitize your art, tokenize your art. So we're sitting down with a collective today who hit the ground running. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they jumped on the scene, we was like, oh, who is this? Like, why didn't we know what was going on? And then we've just been watching them take off ever since. And it's been super dope because we love our city and how much we embody art. And then to have three brothers like putting something together that's really like highlighting it the right way, it's always like really refreshing to see it. So we sitting down with Buffalo Fashion Runway. You got my band. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Rodney Chapman, co-founder and director of curation.
Chad Williams, director of business at Buffalo Fashion Runway.
I'm Iman. I'm director of marketing and public relations at Buffalo Fashion Runway.
Fire. Yeah, man. So it's like the amount of gravity that's like y'all pulled weight really quick, and I was super dope. So like, how did this Buffalo Fashion Runway get started?
Man. So first, I went to Buffalo State College. I graduated in 2020. Got a job after I graduated at a company called Launch New York, and it's in the startup space within Buffalo. So I was heavily in the startup space in Buffalo. And then a friend and myself, a guy named Dan Abitoy, he's around like 35, 38 years old. He started his own business. It was like a food app that he started, and we would always just connect because we both had a love for food. And he knew that I had my fashion brand, Due Process. And we would always talk about, like, yo, let's throw this fashion show in Buffalo. Because, like, we knew Buffalo to have, like, a bunch of different local designers, but it wasn't really a spotlight on them. So every time we would get together, we'd be like, yo, let's have a fashion show in Buffalo. And that's just what it was. We could just keep talking about it, but we never did anything with it. And then one day we got together. He was like, yo, let's really do this. So that's when it went into, like, recruiting mode, right? Because I was like, Dan, he didn't really know much about fashion, so I needed to recruit different people that were in Buffalo that knew about different things in fashion and knew the Buffalo people. So that's when this guy right here, this guy Iman, I met him at an internship. He was doing an internship for E4. He was doing the marketing for them. And first day I met the guy, sharp black suit, looking like a black James Bond, right? So like he just stood out. And we got to talking and stuff like that, and I just loved his energy. And I asked him, I was like, yo, at the very early stages, I was like planning the fashion show. Would you like to be a part of this team? He's like, yeah, definitely. I was like, oh, wow. I didn't really expect that. I was like, no, it's nothing like that, right? So he's like, yeah, definitely. So I was like, I bet I'm gonna hit you. I didn't hit him up for like 2-3 weeks.
It was 2-3 months.
He was like, he was playing, right? Finally hit him up, right? This guy Rodney, right? We was at like this startup event for Good Neighbors Fund, right? I didn't know him, but I knew we had a mutual friend, a guy named Naj, brother, mentor, super dope guy. And usually at like an event like this, people have on like suit, ties, stuff like that, right? Usually me, I just when I go to a place, I wear what I want to wear, what I feel comfortable in. And Rodney had on the same thing. I feel like that's just how we bonded the first time. Like he had that shit on, right? And we started talking. And I was like, yo, I hit up Naj. I was like, yo, I'm really starting to plan this fashion show. He's like, yo, you know what you gotta do, right? he's like, you got to hit up Rod. I was like, yeah, I know. That's kind of what I called you for, type of thing, right? And then so I called Rod, got him on the team. There's also a guy named Pete. Pete the God. I'm not sure if you guys familiar.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah,
Pete. Yeah,
super dope, creative, has his own brand. His show was actually 2 months before we started planning this show, and that was actually the first fashion show I've been to. So I know his expertise was definitely needed. And then the genius, Kane. This guy is I met him in the gym, actually, in the MMA gym, and we both realized we had brands. And he invited me to his launch for his brand, and I went into his studio, and basically he had everything. He had a screen printing setup. He had 3D printers printing things. He's just like a super smart dude. He has the background in engineering, and is just like super smart. So I was like, all right, boom, let's do this, guys. And then we all got together, and it's crazy. Like, we talk every day now. Right? Like, I'm 25, right? I really think I'm going to meet people that I'm going to have a bond with for the rest of my life, right?
Be like
I met these guys, now we talking every day, and we just like brothers. And it's been amazing ever since.
Brothers in the mission. Nah, that's how it happens. That's how it happens. Because it's like, when you on that same passion, when you got that same passion, it's kind of, you see it. And it's like something, it's like almost like, it's like gravity on some type shit. And it's like, was when I saw, like I was telling y'all earlier, like when we decided to start a podcast, and it was just like, I saw how hard he went with videography. And I'm like,
You be going crazy.
yeah. So I'm like, yo, I'm like, nah, somebody who's that passionate about that, I'm that passionate about like information and connecting with people. So I'm like, we both got that drive for something. Yeah, we gonna make this work. And it's that commitment, and it's that like, it's that frequency.
It's that consistency. I be seeing y'all like every single second. I would say I scroll, I go on Instagram, I see y'all something, right? Go to TikTok, I see something. Go to Facebook, I see something. Like, yo, these boys is on it. Like, yo, like we had to like connect with y'all. We had to tap into y'all minds because we see the consistency, and we trying to be consistent as well. So I feel as if when certain people get together, it's an explosion of ideas, an explosion of creativity, an explosion of consistency and drive.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, Craig Voltron, man. Craig Voltron, dog.
That's what we say, bro. That's like Voltron.
Bro, that's what it is.
That's crazy. Power, son.
Absolutely.
Nah, Rod, you gotta talk on it.
I say that because we move, we all in alignment, right? It's a spiritual bond between all of us, just like it is y'all, right? Y'all seen a visualization in y'all mind, how everything could look, and y'all formulated that plan, and now it's reality, and that's how we move too. When he came to me, I was like, yeah, I'm down. I don't even care what it is. I don't care if you playing, but if you playing, we gonna play together. Pause. Right? But
definitely pause.
Yeah, right? But I'm like, shit. If we on the same team and we all got the same frequency, we gonna make this thing pop. And that's what I saw. Like we was going hard. Every week we was having a meeting. We formulated the next show the day after or the day of the actual fashion show that we ended on September 16th. They came to me like, yo, we got the plan already. I'm like, what? What you mean? We still on the high from the day before. Yeah. Like, no, we got meat. Let's talk about it. I said, let's do it. Well, it's like Voltron, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. That's how it happens, bro. And that's the best way to capitalize on that momentum. Like, have that next event lying right up. Yeah. People are already buzzing. People are already talking about it. They looking for the next one.
Right. Yeah,
so it's like, yep.
Because people take too much time celebrating.
Right.
You can't celebrate. You got to keep going. You got to keep working. Because you keep working, it's going to be the snowball, and you're going to eventually build up.
And I think that's the thing that also link us together, because we're not looking for the next high. You know, we have a vision outside of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, before the first show, and like planning it, marketing it, and you know, doing promotion for it, people didn't even know who we was. Like, and that wasn't our purpose to get people to know that we doing this. Our purpose was to showcase and highlight the creativity here in Buffalo, because we saw there's a bunch of fashion shows in Buffalo and around the area, but you know, you got to be a part of State to do that. You got to be a part of UB to do this. And we just thought there's so much creativity here. Why can't we just throw something and put people in it ourselves? You know? And I feel as if we chasing like not even chasing, we following a certain height that we want to reach, but it's outside of ourselves. It's the organization, it's the people, it's community, it's the brand.
So what do you think really separates maybe y'all events or y'all fashion purpose versus, like you say, the Buff States or the other runway events that occur in Buffalo?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
what really makes y'all stand out?
Absolutely. So we was talking about this a lot. Like when we make content for social and stuff like that, we usually tap it into community. It's not about, oh, check out what we got going on, check out what our school or institution got going on. It's more about check out what the community of Buffalo got going on. And I feel as if people who follow the page, people who come to our events, people who support us, they see themselves a part of the movement. They see themselves a part of the shift in, I don't even know what to call it. The shift in what?
I would say resurgence in
The
Buffalo.
shift in the paradigm.
Yeah, it's like
in
a-
Buffalo.
The new age.
Yeah.
Right, that
Like,
2024 vision.
Yeah, man. I just feel like people are attracted to it in a sense because they see themselves a part of it. They see themselves being able to be in the videos that we make, and they see themselves being in the show, designing or modeling or rapping, poetry, fine art, etc. And that's what I feel like separates us. But again, it's not a separation. They inspired us. UB, Bus State inspired us. We had to see that in order so we could see how we could do our thing. But yeah, I feel it. I would say that's what separates us in a sense.
I definitely add to that by saying it's definitely like a shift in the culture, right? So, like, for instance, like the schools and institutions that was throwing out the events, like the Buff States, the UBs, and stuff like that. It was like older people that are like out of touch with like the younger generation, so they don't really know what's going on, right? So when people see us, they see 5 young dudes doing it, they can relate to it. They're like, yo, if they could do it, I could do it as well, sort of thing, right? So we just like happy to be that influence for them, right? Because like with our first event, we had the backing of prominent organizations like the AKG Museum, Virtual Penny, West Here, Rich Products, a bunch of different organizations. And then with this next upcoming event, it just got even bigger and better, right? So the fact that we was able to do that with no proof of concept from the first show, it just shows to what we could do, right? And like people know that they can do this as well. We're just happy to be able to be that influence for them. Like we're going into schools, talking to the students about our journey, our mission. And it's really a blessing.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's like, it's one of those things where it's just like, when people see it, they think it's just, they get the clip on their phone. And like for kids, it's like, yeah, this is 30 seconds, a minute of this product. And it's like, oh my God, this is incredible. But it's like, it's that all that groundwork that y'all do. It's like, I feel like that's something I always want to highlight, is just like, it takes people to come together in order to do this. Like you have to create that community, like that tribe. And just like, once y'all stronger, we stronger together. Absolutely. And that's how we were able to manifest the dreams and see the visions and achieve our goals type shit. You said something that was that stood out to me. You said y'all were so focused on the art and not necessarily the fame. And it was just like, that's something that's so key. And it's just like, I don't know if I said it on here before, but like my Instagram name is Side Effects. And it's just like I want my success, I don't say my popularity to be a side effect of the work I put in. Not necessarily, the goal isn't to be famous or be seen. The goal is to work hard. The side effect is you gonna see the fruits of what I've been
And that's
putting in.
deep. I'm glad you say that because after our show, I had a talk with a curator at BAM at Buffalo Arts Movement, and he was telling me like, I love what y'all doing, all this stuff, and it's good for Buffalo. And he was saying, I'm glad that y'all are putting on for the community and y'all are shaping certain things for the community. And he was saying like, it's not about yourselves, because if it's about yourselves, it can only go as high as you are. And if it's separate from yourself, it's out of yourself. If it's for a movement, if it's for a drive, for something that's bigger than
A certain
you,
purpose, a certain mission.
A certain mission, it can go way farther than you've ever been.
Absolutely.
Nah, facts.
Shout out to
And
Carson, man. Shout out to Carson.
That's really like what we do it for as well. Is like we talked about it before. Like we believe in eternal life. Like we talk about the Ankh.
Yeah.
I got like 6 Ankhs tatted on me. Yeah, I got like 6 of them joints tatted on me. So it's about like really leaving a legacy and leaving things here that will live far past like where we're gone.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I feel like that's what y'all doing. That's what we doing. That should really like be your ultimate goal. And then you'll get the side effects of being famous or having a car or whatever. Even though that's not what we do it for, it just happens to come with it.
Yeah, it's deep.
Yeah, man, and it's a dope journey. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's even hearing the story how y'all met. I'm expecting to hear, oh yeah, we was all in
Yeah, we grew up
college.
together.
Yeah, like I knew the homie, he's down the street. But it's just like, nah, really organically, like, oh nah, that y'all just tribed up. Like it was meant to be.
Absolutely.
It came together. So like that shit's super dope. So like I remember you said earlier in pre-production, you was talking about you from Buffalo and Brooklyn. What part of Buffalo?
East side.
East side.
Lower East side, Fillmore area.
Copy. What about you?
I was born Cheektowaga, right off Eggert, in Cleveland Drive.
Cheek to Vegas.
I went to Cleveland. What you got to say, Zan?
From Brooklyn. From Flatbush, Brooklyn.
He was waiting for it.
Nah, but Buffalo took me in. I love Buffalo, man. I'm familiar with
Bills
all
fan now for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Go Bills.
So you be heartbroken every year just like us?
Sorry?
So you be heartbroken every year just like us?
Heartbroken
we was
and money down.
heartbroken. we was especially heartbroken this year. Like this year, I mean, not heartbroken. Like things still came into fruition, but shout out to K Sweet. So I work at a marketing agency called Crowley Webb in Buffalo downtown, and they do creative work with M&T Bank and Evergreen, AAA, certain things like that. And M&T Bank sponsors the Bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my supervisor was telling me, because she know I do all this stuff and with the show and everything, she was telling me I should hit up the Bills, I should hit up Stephon Diggs and hit up some players, Deion Dawkins, try and walk in the show, etc. Right? I was like, maybe, like it's either 10K or they're not doing it at all. You know what I'm saying? And so, I let my limited thinking not, I let it take over in that sense, right? And then I started to hear, more people talk about the Bills and more people talk about Stephon Diggs. And then shout out Buffalo Fatherhood Initiative. Antoine sent multiple voice messages about, y'all should get Dim to walk in the show. Y'all should get Stephon. Y'all should get et cetera. So that clicked in my brain where I was like, all right, you know what? Let me shoot up an email real quick to K Sweet to try and maybe get some Bills players walking. And then come to find out, they're going to sponsor us. And, we shooting in the Highmark Stadium on a Monday.
Tough.
Like, and we was bummed because, like, it'd be crazy if they went to the Super Bowl and the next week they was walking in a fashion show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, things happen for a reason. I feel as if everything happened for a reason. So we blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. That's a huge feat because so many people from the town, like, they've only seen a Bills game at the Highmark, if they've been to Highmark, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like for them to do it on some creative, on some with their city, because it's like it's tough. Like if you're not from Buffalo, the Bills Stadium, Highmark Stadium is in Orchard Park.
Right.
That's 30 people who never left Buffalo, who never been out there. Ain't no reason to go to Orchard Park. But it's like now it's something that they're bringing value out there too,
right? And
just seeing like, nah, you're a part of this, and it's like really tying Western New York together, which is fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
So where did y'all origin and where did y'all original passion come from when it comes to like fashion in general, like each of y'all individually, to where y'all would want to start and be a part of something like this?
So again, I'm from Brooklyn. But usually it originally originated from just like going to school and being in competition with your peers, like who's wearing what and who's wearing this, right? But then an incident happened to me in college, actually. I was wrongfully arrested, had to fight to clear my name for almost a year. And basically, like, the odds were stacked against me. After that year, I was able to clear my name. And then after I cleared my name, I was like, all right, boom, let me start this clothing brand called Due Process to help share my story and then the stories of others who are wronged by the system. So basically, due process means fair treatment through the judicial system. I didn't receive that. So I wanted to make it known that I didn't receive that and that I'm sharing this to inspire others who are potentially going through the same situation to always keep their head up, basically. And that's really where my inspiration or my passion for fashion, as cliche as it is, came from.
Rightfully so. You repping today. I see you.
For sure.
Yeah, that shit hard. I fuck with it.
Every time.
Sheesh. We got time?
Yes, sir.
We got plenty.
Right now, my passion came right out the womb. My mom is a fashionista. My father, sister. So I grew up, aunts, uncles. I grew up watching them dress. Then I started to dress myself as I became older. Started to get a liking of it. Started to find colors and palettes and whatnot and build off of that. And then hip-hop. Hip-hop is real big on hip-hop. So the likes of Jim Jones, Kanye West, Fabulous, the list goes on, right? They also shaped my passion for fashion, right? Me wanting to stand out from the rest of the masses is what I really honed in on as a young guy, right? I was shorter, right? I'm not 6 foot, ball player, you know what I'm saying? But that right there was like, well, if he's 6 feet, he ain't got no style, but I got style, but I can still get the girl he can get.
Yeah,
I'm about to rack up. It's over. But that right there just drew my passion, right? Growing up, I was like, well, if I could get the J's, I'm gonna get the J's. If I can't, I'm gonna switch it up. You know what I'm saying? Do something that was different. But that's what really, you know what I'm saying, created my love for fashion.
Fire.
That's facts. I'm a preface this that Rodney creates every single tagline that BFR got. He made the Beyond the Threads, cut from a different cloth. He be spitting. Get busy for no reason.
But that's that inspiration of hip hop that comes with it, right? The wordplay on, you know what I'm saying, separating yourself from the others, right? So cut from a different cloth is what we're moving on right now. Because we all are, you know what I'm saying? Just like y'all are from other podcasts, right? The way you wear your coat, you cut from a different cloth. That's what we moving on. That's the frequency we is, right? We not doing it like nobody else. Even though we doing fashion shows, we might be, you know what I'm saying, take inspiration from the likes of Eleanor Lambert, who actually started fashion shows, right? Or New York Fashion Week or Paris, right? But we doing it our way. And our way is just cut from a different cloth, man.
Yeah. I like that you started with Jim Jones too.
Right.
I don't feel like Jim Jones really get his credit when it come to like setting trends and being in fashion. Like he really used like the skinny jeans, the rock star lifestyle shit. Like people say it was Wayne, it was really Jim Jones, bro. The bedazzled jeans, the bedazzled belts.
Exactly.
Like Jimmy started a lot of that, or brought it to like.
What you got to say?
Where's Jimmy from?
He from Harlem. He ain't from Brooklyn. Nah. Don't be trying to claim the whole New York. You from Brooklyn?
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn, man.
But nah, yeah, Jimmy should get his credit.
yeah, for sure.
Nah, that's funny. I would say for me, I always say you could buy fashion, but you can't buy style. Because I always grew up always looking at people's feet. Oh, they got the Jordans, they got the Robin jeans, the True Religion when they was popping. And I'd be like, dang, like I'm wearing my LeBrons with my joggers that I'm thinking is cool. But like I feel as if my inspiration comes from simplicity, where you're able to express yourself, but be comfortable. You know, like people always ask me like, oh, you gotta help me, you gotta style me, you gotta help me put this on, da-da-da. I'm like, yo, like my closet about this big, but you never see me wear the same outfit ever. Like ever. And it's the style, it's the way you think about it, it's the creative direction that go into your the way you step out of the house. And like you can buy all of the clothes you want. You can buy all of the $1,000 pairs of jeans, $1,000 pair of kicks. But if you don't have the style to put it on, you just look like a fool.
A mannequin.
Yeah, like,
that's why it's
like
beyond the threads. Yeah, it's beyond the threads, bro. Fashion means the way that you do things in life.
Word.
Right? So the way that you operate, he fashioned his life in a certain way, right? It's more than just clothing. Clothing is a part of it, right? But it's how you operate.
How you put yourself together.
It's your prowess. I would say it's like it's your energy. You know, like he was asking somebody got the luxury cologne on when they walked in the room. He was like, nah, that's just my presence. That's what it is. Like it's when you match your style and you match it with a certain type of personality and you positive and you got peace and blessings in your heart, like people gonna feel like you're putting that shit on.
Absolutely. Nah, and that's one thing, like how y'all explained it, like I was very against, like, I don't say I was against fashion, but I was against the upholding of it to like, this makes the man type of thing. Because it was like, I've seen plenty of people who was just like, a lot of people I met who was like into fashion, but like they wasn't shit as a person. Like, and it's just like, it always bothered me. And I kind of steered away from it. Like my dad and my brother heavy on it. And I was just kind of, I'm cool. I'm gonna find my path. I'm gonna find my style with it. But it's like how y'all put it, and it's like truly like an art form, like how you fashion yourself, like how you make it, like truly making the man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something I think that the kids need to hear, because it's like they go on Facebook or scrolling social media, they see everybody with the Dior, and it's like, damn, like I can't wait till I get that, so then I could be the person. And it's like, nah, bro, like you gonna be him before you get it for real, for real.
Start
Like,
from within.
yeah, and that like, and I say that's one thing. Like my pops told me, he was just like, he's like, oh, if you want material wealth, he was like, okay, that's cool, but he was like, in order to get that, you have to have spiritual wealth first.
Most important.
Yeah, he said, gain that spiritual wealth first, everything else will follow.
Yo,
And that shit always stuck with me.
When I was last year, I took a trek, like a self-developmental journey, and I started reading a book a week. And I would say since that January 2023, I completely changed my life. And like, I'm glad that you say spiritual wealth, because I'm writing my own book called "Take Care of Yourself: A Guide to Mental Wealth." You know, and once you're rich in spirit, you're rich physically. And I like that you put it that way.
Absolutely, and that's always something I think about when I sit down with people, and just like even hearing y'all how y'all made y'all collective, and it's just like it was a thought first. It started here. It was like, damn, I want to do this. I got a passion for this, and then it starts here. Then it just slowly drips out, and then next thing you know, you how did I sit next to bruh? Oh, he just so happened to tell you about the joint, and it's like, oh, word. You meet bruh. Yo, it's like a beautiful thing. It never ceases to amaze me. And just how like you can like magnetize those things in your life, but it starts here. And then with fashion, it kind of just like puts the cherry on top, because now you repping. Now it's like, nah, I am my energy. You feel me? Like, and it's reflected, and then you attract everything that belongs to you.
Yeah, man. And
That should remind me of our Wasabi interview. When you was asking him, you was like, yo, so what advice do you have a kid that like likes to get drippy and wear clothes? He cut you off. He was like, bro, fuck getting drippy. Getting drippy isn't a personality trait. That should do not make you a good person. That just adds to the person you are and adds to the energy that you already have.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's deep. And I also say I hint my inspiration to fashion to Rashad Holly, because he taught me how to sew. And like, I feel as if, you know, talking to Kane, talking to these boys, like I feel as if once you learn how to sew and you can create your own garment based off of inspiration or idea that you have, that elevates your style to a level that's not even able to be described in words.
Everything is a one-on-one because you made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different.
You're able to look at pieces differently. You're able to match them up differently with other pieces, and it's just something that you can't describe when you have that level of skill.
Absolutely. Just as because when I think of, when people say high fashion, you tend to think of like European, Paris, and all those fashion houses. But here in America, we had a man named Dapper Dan. You know what I'm saying? Being from the city, how did he impact you on your fashion journey?
Dapper Dan, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm familiar with them, but I wouldn't say he impacted me on my fashion journey. It really came from my uncle. My uncle, rest in peace to him. He always used to get me, my brothers, my cousins, all of the high fashion things, right? They were replicas. He used to sell replicas, but us being younger, it didn't matter to us, right? We were just happy that we were able to get something to wear to school, to, I guess, show off in a sense, right? So that's where my fashion inspiration came from, was from Big Boss. That was his name. Rest in peace to him. But yeah, just being from the city in general, just having people like with the Biggies, with the Jordans, with the J's. My mom, I'm of a Haitian descent, so like she didn't believe in any of that. She believed in the bare minimum, right? So like if I wanted that stuff, I had to go work, find a way to get some money to go and get that myself, because she wasn't getting it for me, right? So that instilled like entrepreneurship in me from young. Like me and my brothers used to go to people's houses to go shovel snow. We used to mow lawns in the summer, go out to my aunt's house in Long Island, because that's where like the richer people were at. We used to go over there, shovel snow, used to mow the lawn, used to stack up our money so that we were able to go get those Jordans, those Polo Ralph Lauren tops. Just being from the city, the hustle, it was amazing, and that's what definitely inspired me wanting to go and work hard to go get something.
Word.
You from the city doing no Dapper Dan? It's crazy.
I said he ain't inspired.
He said he ain't inspired. And I appreciate you being honest about that too.
Like, yeah.
A lot of motherfuckers, they probably would have lied and be like, yeah, Dap, he's the greatest, he inspired me, but like, you kept it a buck.
Nah, I like that you hint at Dapper Dan too, because I feel like people who know fashion or like know the history of fashion, you gotta give Dapper Dan his credit, because nobody has.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody
now
has.
Now they are. Right. It took 10 years to do that though.
For
You know
real.
what I'm saying? But he was doing it way back when, right? And that's how you know the culture is always ahead of its time, right? Because those fashion houses like Fendi, Prada, Gucci, they wasn't doing what he was doing, rapping Jeeps and Hummer and you know what I'm saying, interior and whatnot. They wasn't doing that when
They was sending police to his crib, right in the studios and shit.
left and right,
man.
and he was bouncing right back. Then he went underground, right? But they was like when they was walking in, like this guy belongs downtown at Soho.
Literally.
Well, why not give him a program and reshape his life? You ain't gotta go work under, you know what I'm saying, and make quote unquote replicas in order to, you know what I'm saying, make something pop as far as high fashion goes. But he was just ahead of his time. That's how you know, like, we don't need high fashion brands to be the flyest. You just need yourself. Like, you just need the creation of who you are if you really about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What? Just because, like, I'm like I said, I wasn't that into fashion, but like I started just like researching stuff online. I want to say it was Thread Academy. Thread Education. Thread Education. Yeah, that's why I started tapping in, and I just started gaining my true appreciation for it. And I was just looking at the different fashion houses.
Yeah.
Just like for somebody who's maybe not too into fashion, what exactly is it like a fashion house?
A fashion house is like a holding company, right? So Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy is a holding company for, let's say, Kenzo, Christian Dior, Tiffany, Louis Vuitton Moet and Hennessy, Bacardi, right? Moet, but they're the backing of these brands to make quality clothing, right? But Buffalo Fashion Runway has created Buffalo Fashion House, right? Putting a slight twist on it, but that's the correlation of having creatives come under us, right, to create what they want to, you know what I'm saying, what they see fit as artistry. But fashion house is like Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, the new, Keurig Group. I think they hold Gucci, but different high fashion brands are under fashion groups, just like Off-White was too. I forgot who their holding company was, but that's why they were saying like Virgil wasn't the owner of Off-White because he was with a holding company.
Got you.
So the fashion houses is like who Ye was speaking of in the Sway interview when he was saying Sway, you don't have the answers.
Bernard
That's what he
was
was
like
talking
the richest
about.
Somebody
man.
need to be the Medici family.
Right. Yeah, man, it's deep.
Yeah, and it's like those fashion houses have such a long lineage. You know what I'm saying? And they make it very, just from outside looking in, it makes it difficult to break through their paradigm. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I always was questioning, like why isn't there like fashion houses in America like for us in that sense? Like we deserve that. You know what I'm saying? We are our own country. We are all the way over here. We shouldn't be looking towards a European company to embody us.
Right, because they come for us for the sauce, right? So I was watching Earn Your Leisure the other day. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure.
Shout out to the guys.
I met Troy and Rashad in Ghana. Across. Shout out to them. Yeah,
that's love. I met him in
Ghana.
Toronto. I went to see him in Toronto. Right?
Fire.
We went to see him at Madison Square Garden like 2 years ago. Yeah,
So player, right?
Market Mondays.
Yeah, solid, bro.
But they had a young lady on their show. Her name was Brendel, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry if I butchered
I watched
that.
that joint this morning.
Yeah,
That's
right,
crazy.
Fashion Row, right?
Yeah, I watched that shit
But
this
they were
morning.
saying the same thing. They might need like 10 million to start a fashion house, but I mean, it's possible to do it.
For sure.
It's just the fact that somebody has to do it. We have to do it. You know what I'm saying? We can't look at Louis Vuitton or Hennessy to always hold that title and to try to get into their door when they don't want the door open sometimes anyways. You know what I'm saying? We just go kick it in because we feel like that's the highest of the fashion when it's really not. You know what I'm saying? If you about that life, you can make a T-shirt look good. Like I always said, you can make a trash bag look good, right? But I
Shout out to Missy.
Yeah, right.
Facts.
Right, but I don't have to have on a Louis Vuitton shirt, even though it's, shout out to Pharrell and whatnot. We don't have to do that. We can create our own.
Absolutely.
I think that's also the mission that we have with Buffalo Fashion House, where you don't have to give your money to the brands and the fashion groups that already have billions of dollars. You can make your own fit every single day and wear your own fit and put it out and make money off you wearing your own fit and marketing your own fit. And then people want to buy into your brand, buy into your clothing. And I feel like that's what our collective wants to do with Buffalo Fashion House.
Yeah, and I wish Kane was here to touch on it too. So basically, after our first show, we wanted to do something like how you guys were saying earlier to keep building off of the momentum. And that's when Buffalo Fashion House came about. And it'll be a hub for artists and artists alike to come and create and then also learn how to create. Because I have my brand, right? Rodney recently, he had his brand in his head for a minute, but he recently launched his brand, right?
Say Dular.
Saint Dular.
Say it again.
Say Dular.
Yes, sir.
French for its art.
Ooh, fire. Yeah. But he recently launched his brand, but me, I don't have the background knowledge of knowing how to sew, knowing how to screen print, right? But Kane, he had all of that knowledge and he was self-taught. So then when we bunkered up, I learned how to do that. So like for our first fashion show, I learned how to screen print. I'm still learning how to sew for like this next show that's coming up in February we actually in February on the 1st right now. Happy Black History Month. But the show in 23 days, I'm going to do my own cut and sew collection. So I'm learning all how to do this here in Buffalo through the know-abouts of somebody who knew how to do that, right? So that's what we want Buffalo Fashion House to be, like creatives to come and like learn from us, right? Because we've all been through it, right? We've done the mistakes. We've did everything that you could possibly mess up on, right? So they could learn from us. And I'll be like home to Buffalo. So like all of the creators here, they just come to us and we give them our 1-2 basically.
Dope.
So we keep referring to the upcoming show. What's the actual title of the show? What's the name of it? How can people get tickets? Let's really like give a rundown for that.
Sure. So Buffalo Fashion Runway, Black Carpet. It'll be a celebration of diversity through the arts. Paying homage to Black History Month, right? The theme of the show is Black Carpet related to Black History Month. All of the designers, they have to curate at least 1 to 2 pieces that are geared towards the theme, right? So basically, if they want to go back to the Harlem Renaissance times, if they want to do hip-hop, if they want to do streetwear, something just related to Black history, they could do all of that. We're on Instagram at Buffalo Fashion Runway. The show will be on February 24th at the Northland Workforce Training Center on the east side of Buffalo, so just bringing it back home. We're having a pre-mixture event at the Buffalo AKG Art Museum. That would be in support of the Buffalo Fatherhood Initiative that we referenced earlier. They do a lot of work in, promoting healthy fatherhoodship. And we'll be having like a mini fashion show of sorts on the 16th there. We'll be creating custom clothing that will be featured in the silent auction. We'll have gift baskets, the whole 9.
Absolutely fire.
Yeah, you gotta touch on where Black Carpet came from because so
Pause.
Pause.
I can't help it.
So we gotta run down the first show. Our first show happened September 16th of 2023. It took us 2 months to plan. Happened at 500 Seneca. We highlighted 6 designers, brands. Austin Guyett, his brand is Buy a Guy. Barris Henry, his brand is Good Neighbors Club. We had I Got Here Being Me.
Shout out to Barris.
Shout out to Barris. Faith Over Fear. And so many other people. And then Due Process, New Sons. And as well as that, we highlighted poets like Jillian Hainsworth and Edo Lanston. We highlighted artists like Bosky and Chords. So through that night, we amassed over 300 attendees, right? But in order to get 300 attendees, we had to put out 300 plus chairs. Sunday, we had to clean up those 300 plus chairs. So Sunday came after the Saturday of the show. And while we're cleaning up, we sitting there like, yo, like, what's next? Like, what we doing? And I was like, oh, we got, the next shows in New York and in Paris are usually in February, right? And I was like, yo, like, why ain't nobody put on no show for Black History Month? It was like, yeah, true. We should do something like a red carpet, create a whole experience. And I was like, nah, like Black Carpet. It play off the word red carpet and it highlight in the title Black History Month and Black. And that's what we want to showcase.
Absolutely. That's tough.
Yeah, and I'll add too. So like one of the highlights of the show, so we're going to do the segment under Buffalo Fashion House. And it's going to be like the Buffalo Black Icons Walk. And essentially, it's not going to be traditional models walking for us. It's going to be prominent Black figures in the Buffalo community. So the likes of like a Valentino Dixon. He's a Buffalo native. He was wrongfully arrested and imprisoned for like, I believe it was 27 years. And he got out and he's doing this thing with his artwork. So he'll be walking in the show.
Let's say he sold something to Obama.
He sold something to Obama. Michelle bought it. And that's how the recognition was brought to his case. And then he got the public's eye on it and then he was released.
That's tough.
So he's going to be walking in the show. Shout out to Valentino. We got the likes of Kendra Brim. She's doing amazing things. She the next Michelle Obama, damn near. Shout out Kendra, and we got more coming. But
Naja Bolden.
Yeah, Naja Bolden. I didn't want to give him too much.
Edit that out. Edit it up.
Be there, sort of thing. But we're gonna have prominent Black figures in the community walking throughout the show. So that's gonna be one of the highlights.
And then I also want to highlight on some of the designers. Don't want to give away too many, but again, we got Austin Guyett, we got Rashad Holly coming out of retirement. We got Rubes Denim, Paulay Undisclosed, and the list goes on. And I don't want to touch on it too much. You just got to be there to see it. Get your tickets in the bio, Buffalo Fashion Runway. And yeah, and then we also got performances that we don't have in. You want to talk about that?
Afro band called Underrated Evolution. We have.
Yes,
It's
sir.
crazy because I went to school with them, and like they started while we was in the same grade, and Javon, like he basically started the Wildcat Radio in Damon. So he basically like you, he started up the whole podcast. He started up the studio to make music, and then Tron is from Trinidad and Tobago, and he came in to play soccer with me while we was at Damon. And then Tron would like hunch it down in the studio. So after practice, he'd go to the studio. After lunch, he'd go to the studio. After class, studio. Always in the studio. And every time I pulled up, I would see him in the studio. And then G4 always in the studio with them. So like it was amazing to see them come up through Damon and like see them be performing in Key Bank Center. To be performing in places like it's nuts to me. And it's amazing as well because my father got them their first show at Buffalo. Like that was the first time performing in, a crowd, in the creative crowd, apart from, a Damon Springfest or something like that. And so it's amazing that I'm able to see them perform at an event that I'm throwing. I might cry.
It's gonna be a real life immersive experience. Something that Buffalo has not seen before.
Rightfully
Y'all
so.
be there too.
All right, on camera, get him to confirm and promise that he will be at the show. I'll be trying to get him to go to fashion shows with me, Fashion Runway. He never want to go. Get this man on camera to give you his word.
Will you be at the show? I need your word on that.
224-24.
Come on.
5 to 9.
224.
You already know.
The Northland
What's
Workforce
the address?
Training Center. 683 Northland.
That's
Something.
on Northland and Fillmore.
Yes.
What time?
5
Yeah.
p.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah. I pull up.
He a man of his word. He's gonna be there.
Absolutely. I'll make sure. I'm gonna make sure I'm there. Nah, yeah, man. That shit is super dope, man. And this is something like I feel like this is the year for like. I know we always say like we get that feeling, but like, I don't know. 2024 is starting off kind of different, and it's just like I'm like, yeah, man. So I'm like, yo, we gotta. I was like, this gonna be a good year. I'm gonna make sure I'm outside hitting all the events and capturing this.
Be a great year. So like 2023, I like to say it was like the best year of my life. Like I did a whole blog post about it, right? Because it was just amazing. I traveled a lot. I met these fellas. We started this awesome group. I worked a lot on my brand. And then transitioning into this year, I'm a full-time entrepreneur now, right? So, like, I'm huge on, like, just being better and better in myself, right? So, like, this year, I wanted to be better than it was last year. Like, I had an amazing year last year. So, this 2024, I want it to be way better. So, like, expect bigger and better things with this group that we got going on, the things that we're going to host, things that we're doing for the community. It's going to be wild, and I'm looking forward to every bump in the road and every smile, every tear.
Word. Nah, yeah, and you mentioned y'all did I want to say you had a partnership with some. It was like about the fathers nonprofit.
Buffalo Fatherhood Initiative.
About the Buffalo Fatherhood Initiative. Can you speak on like whether like some masculine, like y'all some good brothers, you know what I'm saying? Y'all solid. It was like, can you speak on the black men that y'all looked up to, or the black men who like kind of put you under their arm and like helped you, guide you into the man you are today?
My father was, he still is, a huge masculine figure in my life. My uncles, I have two uncles. Then my cousin's father, my godfather, right? I grew up also in Amherst. My man Darren, shout out to Darren, his father would take us around and whatnot. He the one told us to be like, yo, go to Toronto, man. Stop playing out here, man. Y'all too big for this. Go to Toronto, bro. Hold it down out there, because he was traveling the world. He works in the music industry as well. But he also put a battery in my back, like, yo, you too fly. You need to start a clothing line or have a clothing store. But I was young, real young. So that put a battery in my back to elevate my style and to just move different. My dad was a hard worker, so I got that grit from him. You know what I'm saying? Never stopped getting money at all. Always put money away, always invest your money, right? Just constantly building. But that's the type of figure I'm trying to provide for my nephew, right? Because everybody don't have a father in their life, right? So me being a uncle that I am, my nephew 20 years old right now, so I'm like an older brother to him to a sense, but his father is not in his life, right? But to provide that experience that I've had thus far and then trumpet, you know what I'm saying, make him better than I was at 20 years old, that's my ultimate goal.
Fire.
I would say my father as well. And he may not believe me when I say this, but he really has shaped something in Buffalo and in the world, I would say, and definitely something in myself where anything is possible. And creativity is among godliness, I would say.
For sure. God's creating.
And like, but he never had his father in his life, and you know he always tells me about it. So he was the first in his large family to get married at a young age of 26, and you know he's always been in my life, and I'm very thankful for him for that. And like, while he was starting getting married and starting a family, he had his rap career and his hip hop career. He started He started the first hip hop karaoke in Buffalo. His rap name was Billy Drees Williams. And, you know, he has millions of views on YouTube. And it's just like growing up and like going to, the Buffalo Grammys and going to other places. As a kid, I'm like, all right, I'm just going places with my parents. I never really understood it. But like now I'm like, yo, this dude's really doing it when nobody else was doing it in Buffalo. And like now he got murals all over the city and he's doing things with organizations that people never even knew about, and he's creating grants for artists and setting up spaces and resources hubs for artists to be able to unleash their creativity. And like he's so humble, and I sometimes don't understand it, but I do, because it's like, to me, he's like a figure in Buffalo and in the world, but he don't see it. He go outside and I'm with him and 10 people will notice him in 5 minutes, and it's like, he don't understand that. He's always out in the love, and he's always focused on the next initiative, and it's beautiful. But yeah, I would say my father.
Dope.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to think. Like my pops, he's around, sort of thing, but my mom and him, they wasn't together. So like, I see him, stuff like that. But I'd say, as funny as it is, my mom, she played both roles, and she had a bunch of kids. She got 4 kids, 4 or 5 kids, and she took care of all of us primarily by herself. So just watching her get up in the morning, and we all close in age too, like 26, I'm 25. I got a sister that's 24.
Yeah, hold the mic.
I got other siblings as well too, but her just like grinding every morning, taking us to school, taking us to the library after school, just seeing her hustle and bustle, man, it was just amazing. And definitely I got an oldest brother as well. He's around like 35, 36. He was always doing good things. So like we had like him to look up to, right? Like he was in the White House doing internships and all of that, right? Come on, man. Like a young black man too.
Yeah.
Like he was damn. That water, bro. It's over. But yeah, like he was under Obama in the White House, man. So just like to look up to him and see what he's doing, I was just amazing. My uncle that passed away, he was always doing good things, holding it down for the fam. It was beautiful. Yeah, my brothers, my uncles, even my pops too. Shout out to him.
Absolutely. Nah, and it's definitely I definitely wanted to highlight that. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? And black family and just like black masculinity is something that's not, I don't think is constructively like portrayed in media. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely like, it's good to hear just like how it affected you, and just showing other people, like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, it's this type of masculinity that's out here, and it's just like, I hate the whole toxic like that. That wave is kind of died down, so I don't even want to bring it up. But it's just like true masculinity is just like, is healthy, and it builds men, and it creates, like you said, like God's create, and that's something that
God was the ultimate creator. He created all this shit.
Absolutely,
the ultimate artist.
Absolutely, you know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You want to touch on?
Get into the top 5.
Yes, sir.
So we got top 5 segment. So today I really want to focus on, because I feel like what y'all have created is a great brand. You have a great marketing background, and that's a big portion in creating a brand and really getting your message out there. So just in general, not even just like fashion brands or specifically in the arts, like what are maybe the top 5 brands y'all look to, or y'all kind of have gravitated and gotten things from in order to create what y'all have and really help y'all build y'all name?
That's a good question. Dang.
Top 5.
Top 5.
And it could
Five
be
is a lot.
collectively too.
I can't think of 5 right now.
Yeah, collectively, I can come up with 5.
All right, definitely Virgil, Off-White, Off-Rap. He's a huge inspiration in everything that I do. Just from the way he carried himself to his designs to the things that he has done in this world. Virgil is definitely my number 1.
I would say my top 5 is Ralph Lauren, Kanye West. Right now is Heron Preston, Kirby Jean Raymond. And I'm going to go, the last one, I'm going to go Joe Fresh Goods or Kid Super.
Joe Fresh
Yeah,
Goods.
super. That's
Yeah,
tough.
like those are the ones
Fresh
that's holding
Goods
it down
tough.
right now.
All right, off top, I can name a few. And I'm like, I look at it as, you know, the creativity behind the brand and like the creativity behind the marketing and how that the results of that. So I would say my first one is like Tremaine Emery, and like the way he was able to simply start something and like let it ride its own wave. It was interesting to me. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the campaign when it started, but like he really didn't. He did the simplest of things, which made it launch, and it was really weird. And I would definitely say Pharrell Williams. Pharrell Williams is definitely like just watching him through, you know, the music and the art, and then going into creative direction. Like watching him throw fashion shows has definitely inspired me, and the way he markets his brand has definitely inspired me as well. And then lastly, I can't get 5, but lastly, wait, no, that's 1, 2. I got, all right, cool. I got 3.
Oh, my fault. I went.
No, you good. It's
That's
either
fine.
way.
Yeah,
Whatever.
And lastly, I don't know if y'all familiar with DDG. Pontiac made DDG.
Yeah.
Man, so I was watching DDG when I was in middle school, and him
was a
starting off
YouTuber.
YouTube, right? With him with Essence and, you know, doing all this stuff, right?
Pootie and all them.
Man, Pootie, oh my gosh. Like, just the way they capitalize off trends and the way they capitalize off the thing that people are talking about the most is like, I'm trying to get myself to learn how to do that. And it's always like, especially being a YouTuber going into a music artist, and now people only see him as a music artist, it's like, it's hard to do that. You know, as YouTubers always that blow up and then they go straight to music and then they fall off, simply like that. You know? And it's like he used YouTube as a way to show his personality, to gain people to learn him and not buy into the music as a sense, but buy into him, you know? And I really resonate with the way he was able to capitalize off things like that.
Yeah, and I've been known Iman for some while now, and I didn't know he was such a DDG fan, like how I do too, because I really respect DDG's hustle, his grind, and how he just came about. But me, I'm the type of person, I don't really look up to much people, sort of thing, right? But definitely, to name the other ones, Rodney.
Come on.
Sure. This
Love.
gotta be spitting,
Tough.
man. Every
That's
time I meet
crazy.
him, every time I see him, man, it's just a beautiful thing. Iman. Yo, this dude, he just graduated from college and he's doing huge things right now, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. Like, just to hear from him, talk to him every day, I learn from him, right? It's beautiful. Kane and Dan as well, man. Just like to be around those fellas, right? Like, I like to live in the moment that I'm in, right? Like, those other guys like Virgil, I can't talk to him. Like, rest in peace to him. But, like, the other ones, I'm not able to talk to them, but I'm able to talk to these fellas every day, and I grab inspiration from them every time we talk.
Absolutely.
And you should be inspired by the people that are around you because you're around them all the time.
Exactly.
So y'all should be able to inspire each other in different fields in order to continue to elevate. If you can't get an inspiration from
We
the
can't
people you're
forget
around,
Chaz, son. We
That's
can't
a
forget
fact.
Chaz, son.
Facts.
Huge
Like
fact, bro.
the way he's able to handle business and operation, and just as a person and a representative of a big brand and being out in public, it's amazing. Like the way people, you know, if certain things don't go our way, the way people approach us, you know, I'm able to just step back and I don't say anything. But the way he's able to tackle a certain situation and reverse it on the person and then make them think about their decisions is nuts to me. In a way, he's able to network and get information from people, but also in a way of he's providing information for them, and it's amazing.
That's tough.
Like
Yeah.
I like that.
Come on.
I think we could come up with 5 together.
Yeah,
Nah, y'all got to.
I would say for sure, I could speak for both of us on this one. All Money In and just the marathon Nipsey Hussle in general.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm a big person on just mindset and the mindset of just the marathon continues, of just continuing on your journey, taking it step by step, not trying to take the elevator, continuing to take the stairs and like really, because if you don't actually go through the process, you won't learn as much. The people who people who jump and like miss steps, they eventually fall because there's things they didn't learn along the way because they skipped those steps.
Absolutely.
And I feel like Nipsey is, and All Money In is an embody of that. All Money In, investing in yourself. If you're making money, you should be putting it back into your business, putting it back into your passions, putting it back into your dreams, and you'll gain fulfillment from that.
Hell yeah. Another one of my favorite like brands is like Apple. Just the consistency, the pack from the packaging to the presentation to the usability, the displays. It's just like how they. When you think of Apple, you think of it's a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that type of consistency is something I always look for with brands that I rock with.
I know people clown them a lot for that, but like the way that they can able to tone down earlier generations, right? So if you got a 14, the 15 came out, they're gonna slow down your 14 just so you can buy the 15. Like people clown them for that, but like it's business. That's marketing. Like that's what it is. It's consistency.
Absolutely.
I would say I'd agree with you with Virgil and just Off-White. Virgil's just passion for what he did, passion for the process, passion for teaching it. Like you could go on YouTube right now and he'll just have like a blueprint for the whole how he built Off-White, how he built Pyrex, the mindset behind creating the Off-White one, the mindset behind wanting to collab with this person. Like I said, I'm a big person on mindset, though. That's another one. Kobe with the Mamba mentality. When you think of Mamba mentality, that's Kobe. Nobody even knew what a Mamba was until Kobe. Mamba mentality is about work ethic. It's about working hard. When you think of that, you think of Kobe. When you think of, like, he's synonymous with a sport. When people think of basketball, the first people they think of are Kobe and Jordan. And he's not even the greatest of all time.
When
but
people turn
to
around
some
on the
people,
court
he is.
shooting, they don't say MJ.
They say Kobe. You shooting the trash can, you saying Kobe.
Kobe.
Mama mentality translates through all aspects of life, whether you at a 9 to 5,
Right.
whether you building a fashion house brand, whether you hooping, whether you playing football. It's a mindset.
And he showed that. He almost like he was on his way to become EGOT. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he was.
He won an Emmy.
Yeah, he won an Emmy and won an Oscar. So like he was the transferability of them skills. It just shows, and it's like that mentality is key.
Absolutely.
We got one more. Huh?
Oh no, he got bars.
I ain't gonna say he had bars. He had tracks.
Kobe had some bars for them niggas.
We got one more.
Think another brand.
If you blanking on one, I could throw another one out there.
What you had in mind?
Cafe, Billy Esco.
It's a fact.
The way he taking
I
off
like
with that.
Hell yeah.
Inspiration.
And being synonymous with, see, a lot of people, they try and do a lot of different things.
Right.
He's seen that the cafe hats, that was the thing that really coined cafe, and that's the thing that really elevated it. It was the hat. So he really started to focus on how can I make these truckers in different forms and different styles to where it's not repetitive,
Right.
but people are still used to always seeing it.
Right.
People are still gonna want to buy more.
Right. And it's raw. It's real raw.
True
and
creative.
True creative.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Esco. Shout out to Tris.
That's a fact. Yeah, facts. A lot of people don't know that. Shout out to Tris too.
Shout out to Tris, man. Shout out to Vice Paradise.
Hell yeah.
Third Eye?
Hell yeah. So we got a third eye segment where you touch on just like conspiracy, spirituality, and just type of some like self-empowerment type of stuff. I always like to I try not to have things like in mind and let the conversation like kind of like point to what we want to talk about. But
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Your wave's going crazy right now. I'm not gonna hold you.
in the spirals.
I know Chaz be going crazy. I know.
Trying to get the wave check going.
Like my boy Rodney show. I sell life jackets.
You do not want him to drown.
Yeah. So let's stick with the wave shit. You know what I'm saying? Them waves and them frequencies. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things that like people ignore. People ignore the subtleties and they miss that. You know what I'm saying? And it's those subtleties that give you that inspiration, that give you those eureka moments. And align you with the people that's in your tribe. You know what I'm saying? Can you speak on some like any moments where you had to like you felt that energy, that vibe, and it's like that moment is like you trusted your intuition and we went with it and it came something great for you.
Yeah, I'll go before you, Rod, if you want me to. I like this my kind of topic right here because I'm always conscious of what I say and aware of what I say. And I'm glad that you talked about waves and frequencies, and that goes into sound and light and energy, right?
Absolutely.
Now, I'm a positive individual because that's what I want to admit, and that's what I want to come back to me. And everything I put out into the world, every frequency of my sound that I let go and I put the magic of the word into that, I make sure that it's powerful. I make sure that it's positive, and I make sure that if someone says something about me, that I would want them to say this about me as well, you know? And I really like that you touched on that because people don't understand that what they say will happen.
Absolutely.
People don't understand that because
Good or bad.
Good or bad. And like I always go into, because when you talk about sound and you talk about the words and the frequency that you create, that goes into manifestation, right? So if your whole frequency is vibrating on positivity, you're only focusing on the positives in life, right? But if you vibing on negativity, you focus on the negative things in life, right? So if something positive happened to you and you're in a negative mind state, you're not seeing it. You're only seeing the negatives throughout your day, right? Now, if you're thinking in positive, you're thinking of all of the positives and not the negative. So say, for instance, someone who thinks with a negative mindset gets in a car accident. They think their whole life is over, right? Now, someone who thinks in a positive mind state says, okay, let's reevaluate the situation, right? I'm alive.
Mm-hmm.
One.
Gratitude.
The other person that I got in an accident with is alive as well, right? I have people around me, and the way certain things happen, the ambulance came, the police came, my family came, right? The person thinking negative, not thinking about all these things. They think about, oh shit, I lost my car, I got to go to work, and they living in a mental hell, right?
Literally.
And when you're in positive, you living in a mental freedom and mental heaven. And that's where, you know, the mind, the God minded is, you know?
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'll let you talk about that. Rob be going crazy.
No, we all do. Well, let's first just mention that we all Scorpios, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So I had like a 2-hour conversation. We was going to see a venue last year with this man Iman about frequencies, waves, affirmations, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm real big on spirituality. I found spirituality like maybe at the age of 25 when they say like the brain has stopped developing, right? But I started to find knowledge of self within that. I became a vegetarian. I started to change the music I listened to, stop hanging around the people I was hanging around. I just reconstructed my life full circle. So I started to see like the doors opening for me left and right. I didn't know what it was or what it was about until I started to read more, research more, and all things started to align. Just like when I met Chad, right? I didn't know what he was gonna do. I just was down for it. I had a vision after he brought the idea up, but I was like, I don't know what's in store, but I know that it's gonna be the same wave that I'm on, constantly developing, right? Positive affirmations I'm real big on. I have like a 30 clip every time I wake up. It's a ritual that I give myself. Get up, I don't touch my phone, I give myself positive affirmations, give thanks to the Most High, meditate, and then I move from there. But when I start vibrating, I'm vibrating on high frequency energy, so I work from home. So if I might send a GIF in the chat to my teammates, and they just might say GM, right? Good morning. Words are powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spelling is called spelling for a reason. You cast a spell. So
Absolutely.
good morning. You morning when somebody dies.
I don't even say good morning. I say grand rising.
Yeah, good day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to it. Big blessings, right?
Top of the top.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, son. Gems, right? So, but it's about, right, how you omit that frequency. Our strategic partner our strategic consultant, Naja Bolden, it's like my brother, he called me Rod Wave. That's because, not to be conceited or cocky, but I am the wave, right? Can't nothing stop me or permeate my atmosphere. That's what I say. So if we going out to have a drink and they like, man, that joint ain't even packed. I'm like, man, we the vibe. We don't need 100 people in the spot to get something popping. We gonna get it popping regardless. You know what I'm saying? I'm living life every single day. The great Gucci Mane said, every day's a Friday. That's how I feel. Every day is a Friday.
Great Gucci.
I don't have the Monday madness or the you know what I'm saying, the week Wednesdays, you know what I'm saying? Every day is a blessing that I wake up. I'm blessed to have parents, sister, niece, nephew, you know what I'm saying? Life, these guys, you know what I'm saying? It's about the way that you operate in life that can construct how you move on a daily basis, man.
Mm-hmm.
Frequencies is real big, man.
It's a fact.
And I think these two fellas touched on it perfectly because I'm not really too in tune with all of it, but I'm learning every day as I go, right? But I do believe in a higher being, and I pray to him or her or whatever it may be every morning before I go to sleep. And I feel like I'm blessed and I'm highly favored because things just tend to work in my way, right? Like when I was in that situation of the wrongful arrest, right? I never put my head down, right? I always knew it was going to be a better day. Meeting these guys and doing what we have done and what we are doing is just a blessing, right? Things like, say for instance, right, like we got the back in the VKG, right? It was a rep. Her name was Claudia. I actually met her at the Buffalo event. I was tabling for the Urban League of Young Professionals, and it was a hot day. She was an older lady, and she was just she's carrying back her stuff to her car. And me just being the person that my mom raised me to be, I offered her help, and I helped her bring her stuff to her car. And then who knew a year later it would have turned into the AKG sponsoring and supporting the event, right? Just me being a good person, right? So I just heavily just end up being a good person, do good to people, like Iman was saying, and good will come back to you.
Absolutely. Blessed and highly favored.
Blessed and highly favored.
Yeah. And it was just like, for those who like aren't too familiar with energy and stuff like that, there's a book called Power versus Force by, I want to say, David Hawkins. And it literally shows a mathematical breakdown of the vibrations of your emotions. So it's like if you figuring out, what's high vibration or he literally has a list with the hertz, of the frequencies.
It go like 100 is like fear, and then 200 is like guilt, and then 300 is fear, and then it go anger, and then once you get to the 700s, then it go to enlightenment, then it go to peace and love and God body. It's nuts. Yo.
Yeah. I'm a mathematician by trade. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm a math teacher. And it's just like, so I've always looked into all those. Yeah, go ahead.
It's crazy in that book, bro. He said like the average people move on a frequency of 400, which is fear, guilt, and anger all coincided with each other. And that if that's the average of the people, like who upbringing everyone, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. This is what I'm saying. Like you need collectives like this, and like y'all, like to uplift people and to show them like, yo, if you want to do something, do it. Make sure you at peace with yourself, and you'll be at peace with the world.
Because I'd rather be at peace with myself than war with the world than at war with myself.
Shout out to Nip.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. And it's like that. All of that is extremely important. What would you say is one thing that you spoke on the affirmations and stuff? What's something that keeps you grounded or just allows you to maintain that vibration when you got distractions, you got all types of stuff? What grounds you?
Belief. Like I know. You have to know, you have to believe. It's like I think it's two different things.
Absolutely.
Right? So believing in oneself, right, can elevate my mind if I'm ever feeling at a low point. But like I'm human, right? So we all have the days where we get a little angry, frustrated, agitated. But if you think that can't actually, I guess, permeate your existence, right? You can't let nothing come into your world that's gonna affect you negatively, right? So if you thinking positively on a daily basis, right, I'm gonna get $100. I just know it. I just know I'm moving towards it. I feel like this is gonna happen, and it just comes to you just like that. That's the mindset. That's the power of the mind. So positive thinking goes right along with that. So when I wake up, I am power, I am present, I am positive, I'm a giant, I'm a force, I'm an outlier, I'm a game changer, right? So I start naming all of this stuff, and I start naming all of these affirmations to remind myself, like, this is the world I'm living in right now. Can't nothing stop me. Can't nothing or no one stop me.
So
that's deep. And I would say for me, and how I talked about my pops, right? So my pops named me, my mom and my dad named me. And my first name is Iman. In Arabic, it means faith. And my middle name is Idris. It means the one who knows and the one who writes. And our last name, Wajed, is the one who is the finder of truth.
Your last name is Wajed?
Wajed. So it means the finder of truth. So when I move with faith and I know that myself, and I have faith in myself, and I know that I have faith in anything I want to do, I can do, and it will happen. Anything I think, I spew, and it will happen. And I'm believe in the truth that I have, and the truth that I know myself to be within my faith. So all three of my names, my first name, middle name, and last name, is my affirmations. I embody it every day I wake up because it is me, right? And people sometimes let their name be identity, and I don't want to say your name is your identity because you didn't name yourself, But again, I say your name is your purpose because everything happens for a reason. So my purpose is to have faith in myself and to know and to find truth, to find the ways to connect different people and to find the ways to elevate and cultivate community.
So, you know what your name mean?
Nelson is son of Neil. Gerard is French. It's like the French Gerald. And then Clark stems from like clerk, like merchant. Yeah.
I know my first name is Steadfast and Everlasting. I don't know about my middle and last name.
You know what I looked up though? What's the name? Because like on Instagram, people be pronouncing my Instagram tag wrong. It's side effects, but some people be say Saeed. So I looked up Saeed. I looked up Saeed. It's like Lord of Master.
Pronounced say it.
Huh?
It's pronounced say it.
Say it?
Yeah, say it.
Yeah.
Saeed is like, if you say Saeed Tune, it's like I'm happy. But say it is like a chief or a master.
Yeah, say it. Nah, word. I told myself the other night I'm running with it. I'm about to run with it.
Chief.
And before you go, you said last name is Wajet. Is that a name that like your pops picked, or is it family?
Yeah, so the story goes, right? So my grandfather is his first name was Laverne when he's from Illinois. His first name Laverne, and he went on this trek. He took a Hajj to Mecca. He went to Saudi Arabia. He went to Egypt, and he found himself spiritually, right? And he always tells me like, it's spirituality, it's not religion, right? Mm-hmm. And he always talks about how Christianity, how Islam, how all of these structured religions try to control people through fear. They try to make you feel as if you don't go to this church on this certain day, that you'll be struck down, and none of your blessing that you want to happen will happen, right? So he went through this whole trek of spirituality, of growth, and I feel as if he is the ancestor for me. And he brought all that knowledge back to Buffalo, and he met my grandmother, Hawa. She changed her name as well. They both changed their first child's name. Her name is now Sufana. Her name was Charlotte or Courtney prior, and my grandmother's name was Charlotte. And then changed his last name to Wajet, and his full name is Dini Imhotep Ptah Wajet. And he changed my grandmother's name to Hawa Wajet, Courtney to Sufana Wajet. So my dad is the first Wajet born in Buffalo, and to be honest, I think in the world. Like it's 3 generations of Wajets right now.
That's tough.
And I'm the third one.
Nah, that's fire. Yeah, because it was I was reading a book and I read about the Wajet. It's like a staff.
Yeah.
And for a while I was just wondering because like I seen the
staff
crook and the flail.
The scarab, right?
Yeah. I seen the crook and the flail, and I'm like, well, what is this? And it was like the fact that you said that, I was like, that's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just to remind you the question, just like, was there a moment when you just listened to that frequency, like your intuition, and it worked out for you, type of thing?
Every day I wake up. So like I'm a huge family guy. Everything I do and I try to do is for my family, right? Because I feel like, as I said earlier, I feel like I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. So I feel like there's a higher purpose for me to do, right? So like I'm just huge on like taking care of my family and like working hard enough so that I am able to take care of my family, and then when they're good, then I can move on to the different thing, right? Like changing the world, basically.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. There's only like 2 more things I wanted to touch on. Y'all familiar with Adinkra symbols? Adinkra symbols? So
Can you touch on this?
Yeah, so it's like patterns. I want to say it started in, I want to say either the Dogon tribe, or it's either Dogon or out of Ghana. And it's basically symbols that that represent like prosperity, beauty, steadfastness, and stuff like that. And a lot of the Africans, they use it in the chief cloth. Oh, it's slipping my mind. But like the chief, they wear these symbols, and these symbols, they exude that frequency that's embarked on this cloth, and like that's what the royalty and stuff wear out there. And it's like, from my understanding of it, is just kind of like we said, everything has that frequency, and so if prosperity, beauty, and all that vibrate at a certain frequency, it creates a shape. And it's just like if you ever look into cymatics and stuff like that, we've talked on the show, it's like the frequencies create shapes. So it's like these Ndinkra symbols create these shapes, and they allow people to subconsciously receive that frequency. So like when you walk in a room and you wearing this joint, I'm giving you prosperity and you don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of Versace, I'm trying to think of some other ones, like Chanel. They're some of the, like, if you look at the Ndinkra symbols, these symbols are based off of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely something worth looking into. And I feel like that's a thing that we need to reclaim in terms of fashion. It was like we claim our symbols in that way, that these foreign houses, you know what I'm saying, won't colonize us subconsciously when we're wearing their stuff versus, and they've got our symbols. It's like, nah, reclaim that. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was, y'all familiar with Idris Sandu? Idris Sandu, he helped create the Marathon store. So when Nipsey had the shirts, and then like he could put the phone up to it for like a limited video type of thing. So like the camera would go up to the picture, and then you would unlock a video, and then it's like an unreleased video from Nipsey Hussle because you bought this shirt. And it was just like,
It was like considered the first official smart store.
Yeah. So, and like he was able to put like blockchain technology in the clothes. Like, so he got like a little chip.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, yeah, he got a little chip. So it's like, for
That's what we did for our first show.
word?
All of our volunteer shirts had a button on it, and on this button you can actually put your phone up to it, and it'll take you to our site. But it's a NFC tag chip, and we work with Tag Tappers. Shout out to Tag Tappers. Incorporating technology into fashion is ahead of our time, right?
Absolutely.
Technology is forever evolving, and we are forever evolving. So it's only right to incorporate technology into fashion. So the garments that we're creating this time.
Yeah, no, so it's actually a few different garments, and big shout out to Kane. He's not here right now, but he actually not here right now because he in the studio cooking up. So like Kane, he taught me how to screen print. He's gonna teach me how to sew, and he likes to incorporate just different amazing things into garments. So like in our first fashion show, he 3D printed these hands, and it was featured in the first fashion show.
I remember seeing that.
Right?
I
You
remember
gotta pop
seeing
the
that,
picture
yeah.
up, man. You gotta show
I
the
remember
people,
seeing
but
that.
right? So like he's huge into like embedding like NFC tags into his different garments, right? So like if he's
Is it
able to
NFT or NFC?
NFC, near field communication tags into these different garments, and he'll put it like under a patch or something. In the case like somebody wants to bring their phone up to it to take them to their site, you could link it to wherever. But as Rodney said, I wanted to, I guess, highlight things that we're doing for this next show is a Buffalo 10 jersey. And it was a jersey created to commemorate the 10 lives of that was taken for us on May 14th in Buffalo. Basically, on the front, it holds a Superman logo with the B in it, because like the Superman logo is like symbolism for hope. And then on the back of the jersey, it's like a buffalo, then the number 10. And basically, it was to put them in the light of super beings instead of martyrs.
Absolutely.
And that would be like the highlight of our next show.
Yeah, we lost his cousin in the shooting. Yeah, the security guard who had the water fuel cars. I ain't gonna jump into no conspiracy with that, but yeah, it's definitely it hit home. It definitely hits home. Nah, that's super dope that y'all boys on that cutting edge of the technology and stuff like that. Yeah. Keep running with that, because that's absolutely gonna be the wave for the next few years. A lot of these big fashion houses are silently like partnering with cryptocurrency, like companies and organizations and stuff like that, and you can buy like NFTs, wearables and stuff like skins and shit for like Call of Duty. Like that's gonna be NFTs soon, and it's like you'll be able to. I don't wear the skin no more. I could sell it to my man's, and I could just send it to him, and he'll be able to access that through the virtual worlds and video games and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So definitely check that out. It's the biggest marketplace, OpenSea. Check out. They got a bunch of digital. Just digital collectibles and stuff like that, and a lot of them pair it with physical merchandise. So that's definitely just something to be on the lookout for.
Before we wrap up, I know Iman touched on earlier. We're both big on reading and getting information and knowledge through books. You said you were or are reading a book a week. So can you give like maybe 5 books you read just to the people that you really think that they should check out and will help them in self-development and growth?
There's not an order. But definitely Power versus Force, Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., The Voice of Knowledge by Don Miguel Ruiz Sr., The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra, and How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
I want to hear some of your books too. I know you read.
48 Laws of Power, Think and Grow Rich.
It's a goodie.
Asking is Given, Fashion Killer by Somaya Krishnamurthy. That's the newest book I'm on right now.
Why you smiled when you said that one?
Cause it's touching my soul every time I open the page. You know what I'm saying? It's the correlation of high fashion and hip hop. So it goes back to touch upon Kool Herc and how they came outside with their clothing, from how Tommy Hilfiger looked at Aaliyah and Snoop Dogg to build his brand, and it's
I'm
a
gonna
deep
check that
book.
one out for
Yeah,
sure.
please do. And I say the 5th one, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
No.
Yeah.
That's a staple though. Everybody should definitely read that.
Yeah, that's when I opened my mind up a little bit more too when I was younger.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you got it.
The Book of Life. Hey, like, I'm trying to get into reading, but like it's definitely a book of life. Like just experiencing every day, because every day is different.
For sure.
And it's like working towards your goals and just doing that. That's my books.
Where everywhere you look, there's something to see, something to read.
Exactly.
Make sure. I feel as if everybody should to tap into their spiritual side and learn about other religions. So please read the Torah, read the Quran, and read the Bible.
Absolutely.
Please.
Nah, I drop a couple books. I spoke on Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman. So if like you're not into fashion and you want to embody that or any aspect of your life, you know what I'm saying? Become a better father, become a better husband, become a just better athlete, whatever. That's a good book. Talk about alter egos. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It's a very interesting concept of a man having a conversation with the devil and how the devil telling him how he's going to stop him from receiving the success in his life. I'll drop one more. Michael Talbot. What's the name of the book? Holographic Universe. It speaks on just the.
I never read that, but
yeah, Michael Talbot.
Rings a bell.
Yeah, it talks about how our world is like a hologram, and just how light creates everything, and it's just like it's programmable, and how you can affect it in order for it to work for you, type of thing.
Did you ever read into the 2023 Nobel Peace Prize winners? So the Pulitzer Nobel Peace Prize winners of 2023 in December, it basically said that the universe is not locally real. So it goes into how if there's not, about the Zerber effect and things like that, right? If someone is not in existence to observe it, it's not there.
Oh yeah. That's the what do they call that? Observer effect. Yeah. I remember I showed
double slit experiment.
Yeah, double slit experiment. Yeah. Man, I read something and it explains the double slit experiment and how it works.
Right.
This definitely comes down to energy and just how it's like the aura or the electromagnetic frequency of the slit or of the object, how it influences the photons and all. So if you want to get into it, it's Dr. Quantum. He got a dope YouTube joint where it explains it in a way it's digestible. Um,
I'm gonna give a couple too.
yeah, go for it.
So I got the 3 magic words. It really, I've talked about it on here before. It really taps in just like separating and tapping into your subconscious mind versus your conscious mind, and just like how you.
What's the 3 magic words then? Oh wow.
Oh, I shouldn't even say that. Damn. I should read the book.
Bleep it out.
Right, yeah. 3 magic words. As a man thinketh. It's a very, very thin book, short book, probably like 50 pages, but it's something I'll probably read a couple times a year just to like recollect and really retrain my mind to realize that like what you speak and your affirmations are important, and that affects like your mood and how you live and how you walk, etc. We talked about Way of the Superior Man on here all the time. So I'm
David
not yeah, I'm not gonna say that one. I'm gonna focus on one that's like more business related. So I'm gonna say 22 Immutable Laws of Branding.
Sound like Nip list right there, man.
Yeah, definitely do.
That's where a lot of my lists came from, for sure.
Yeah. I'm glad you put As a Man Thinking, because that's the first book my dad ever handed to me in
Word.
my life.
That's
tough.
dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Oh, I'm gonna say
It's the power of a black father.
Millionaire
right
Next
there,
Door
you
too.
know what I mean?
The Millionaire Next Door.
Okay.
That's like the first book that got me into reading.
Interesting.
One of my cousins passed it down to me probably when I was in college, and I didn't even read it until like 4 years later after I graduated. So The Millionaire Next Door, that's definitely a good one too.
Okay. Gotta tune into that one.
Me too.
Absolutely. Is there anything that y'all want to make sure y'all touch on? I know y'all got the event coming up on the 24th. People can get the tickets in the
See,
bio.
bro, I've been letting you rock. We
So
keep
people,
saying
people,
that, bro.
people,
What I
people,
say?
Go ahead.
people be watching this on YouTube, right? And like
Yeah.
your podcast app. All right. So if you swipe up on your phone, you know YouTube should go to a smaller screen so you see it in the top right. Now I need you to swipe down where the search bar on your app. Type in Instagram. You're gonna press it. It's gonna load up. Now you go to the search bar at the bottom of Instagram. Now you go to the top of the search bar where it says search. You press it. Type in Buffalo Fashion Runway. Now you're gonna see a white profile picture with BFR in the logo. You're gonna click that. And as soon as you click it, you're gonna press the blue follow button. You're gonna like some of the content so that we know that you came from this podcast.
Fire.
It's tough. That's tough.
Love it, love it. I want to say, cop them tickets to the show, 2/24/24. Trends are cyclical, but fashion is forever. That's what I want to say.
Bars.
Never underestimate how much more important the execution is than the idea. Everybody has an idea, but it's your duty to execute on that idea and turn it into fruition.
Absolutely.
I like that. It's a fact. You got to put the work in and really,
Mhm.
Definitely appreciate y'all boys pulling up. Dope
Right.
conversation.
Yeah,
Been looking forward to it.
For sure.
We love what y'all doing. And we inspire, just like y'all say y'all inspired by us, we definitely inspired by what y'all doing. And y'all help push us forward as well.
Love it.
I was blessed.
Love it.
No label the pod. We out.
Easy.
Peace.